Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be turn 5 of my playthrough of the Chosin Reservoir campaign from Fields of Fire 2. Feels completely different to Normandy. Um, with the Marines, they have a significantly increased amount of firepower. Two, the Chinese, there's a lot of them. They get placed with a lot of them on the actual cards rather than like one squad or one LMG or something like that. I'm getting two squads, heavy machine gun plus a squad, and such forth. Um, but that firepower that the Marines can put out is quite significant. Also, the objective in this is looks different as well. So normally in Normandy, we'll be having, at the back here with the primary objective, secondary objective, and attack position on the second to last row. Here we have the attack position on this card here, objective 2 here, and objective 1 here. Now, if you haven't seen any of the prior videos, I say this is turn 5. Go back to turn 1 video, and I'll explain all the feature conditions and everything along that line. Safe to say here, I have got a plan, which is to move down the left flank and try and flank these objectives. I only need one of them. That's what the plan is. Let's see how I can implement it. First off, then, we have the battalion HQ. See if they interfere. And they don't. So there's no HQ event. Next up, we will see how many commands the battalion HQ. No. First of all, we've got to activate the company HQ. I don't have to draw a card yet. All I've got to do is, where is the company HQ? There he is. You just flip him there. Boom. Right. So now we go to the company HQ impulse, see how many commands he gets. Well, that's not great, is it? That is rubbish. He gets 1. He is veteran, so he gets 2. Hmm. Well, that's curbed my enthusiasm, hasn't it? And he's got 1 save, so he's got 3. He's not undercover because he's still in the staging area down here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. All right, he's got his communications. I'm using phones rather than radios because we've still got World War II equipment in the radio department, so I'm not happy with that. Okay, so we've got first platoon here. They're pushing on, so I'll probably want to activate them. Second platoon here, and I need to push on with them. So I'm going to activate with 3 platoons. First platoon, second platoon, and third platoon, which will actually take him out of commands now. Okay. So let's go through each of those platoons one at a time. And I'm going to actually start with the second platoon. Remember, you don't have to do them in numerical order. So second platoon is over here. And they're the ones that I've got as my primary. They weren't initially. My initial plan was to go just bundle straight up the center. But then I clocked that these have got less or weaker potential markers. They're on lower ground than most of the terrain around them. But if I can get up here and take out objective 1 or objective 2, so I only need 1 of them. Okay, so we're focusing on second platoon. Let's zoom in a little bit on them. See what we're currently doing. So we've got the medium machine gun here firing uphill into this position here. Okay, that's where the automatic weapons fire is coming from there. Okay. There. I don't see any reason why we should stop doing that. Let's see how many commands he gets. 4. Is he undercover? He's in the staging area, so no. And he's lying. So he's got 4 commands. Second platoon. 4 commands. What to do with those 4 commands? Well, he can do sweet nothing here. So he's going to have to move up. Now, do I want to move into the cover or not? We've got artillery. So do we need the artillery brought back onto this where it's, yeah, there's an enemy squad there. Might as well. All right, so he will move into the staging, into the cover, marked as exposed. That's his first order. 3 remaining. He will then order the artillery to bring down some fire onto this card. So how many cards do I draw for him? Okay, it's the artillery. Let's bring in some HE. He has got 5 fire missions in total, and he's drawing 4 cards, plus 1, 5 cards, because we've got it zoomed in there. So for drawing 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it on the last card, and it was literally the last card. Okay, so that's coming in. So I'm going to put an incoming volume of fire there. And it's -5. Useful. Right, I better mark me artillery fire missions remaining. We're bringing in HE. Ooh, decrease missions. Okay. Right. So that leaves him with 2 orders remaining. Okay. Do we need, I think we need some more fire support. Okay, so he orders, this machine gun is still pumping fire up there. I'm quite happy with that. So, but he's, well, actually, no, I don't need to do I. So I'll tell you what, he's in the cover. So he orders him to move forward into there. That marks him as exposed. Now, what should I should have done last time? This guy was here last turn. He would still be firing on that PDF, so I should have actually made him consume ammunition. Yeah, and he's now still providing that volume of fire over there. The squads, long range, close on, technically speaking, they're firing over there as well, but they don't consume ammo. So let's just move the HQ, artillery officer. So that leaves him 1 order left. And to be frank, I'm quite happy with that. The second platoon. Yeah. Okay, so he's moved forward, got the artillery coming in. Yeah. 1 order left. We'll bank that. Okay, go to the first platoon. That's these boys. Their platoon HQ is undercover and he's a veteran. Drawing a card for him. He gets 4, veteran 5, undercover 6. However, he is under all pin fire. So does that affect? Where's my cards gone? Charts. There we go. Command. Small arms, no. Automatic, no, no. So that doesn't affect. So he's got 6 commands. There, right. There we go. 6. None safe, so he has got 6. Right. And he could technically he could spend all 6. I don't think I'll need all 6. Right. Okay, so what we got here? So he's got the battalion mortar that was bringing fire last time. Um, hmm. And we've got the heavy machine gun. I think we'll try and keep that volume of fire on there. What do you reckon? Yeah, he will order the battalion mortar to fire again on him. Now that battalion mortar, and he's a mortar drawer, he's got 4, and I think he fired there last time, didn't he? We've got the 4.2 mortar here, the artillery there. So actual fact, let's clone that, bring that here because I brought it in last time and change the label on there to Italian mortar. Okay, so that's actual 5 card draws from here. 1, it's in, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so we've now got another incoming in there. Place, not place cover, place volume of fire, and it's again -3 fire mission. And again, expending Italian mortar 281. We're using it up, aren't we? Decrease. Yes, we are using it up. Okay. Doom, doom, doom. So that's one order, leaving in 5. Machine gun is not pinned. Salt, he can't order these because they're outside his area. I don't really want to bring anyone into here just yet. I want to get rid of those squads. So I think that's all we really need to do. He's got quite a lot of guys back here, but that's fine. That's fine. Does he need to go back there for them? Yeah, okay, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, all right. So he moves back here. Mark as exposed. So that takes him down to 4 orders. Let's move another squad forward then. And we'll try and infiltrate them because there is a volume of fire on that card. They are veteran units, so they get 3 attempts. No. Okay, so they are exposed. In actual fact, there is no volume of fire here, is there? It's amazing what you missed. Because that was incoming, they couldn't fire out. So in actual fact, flip. Oh, wait. That isn't there. So I shouldn't have actually replaced volume of fire. It's just gone at the present moment. Delete. Because we're firing artillery on there, they can't fire out. All right, so we shouldn't have marked. Okay, he didn't get it anyway, but yeah. All right, missed that one. Okay, so we've used 4. We've got 2 orders remaining. Sorry, we've got 4 orders remaining. He ordered the artillery, came down here, so he's used 3. Ah. Right. Every time you look at this, you go, oh, missed that one. Oh, missed that one. Oh, missed that one. All right, so you'll bank those 3. Next up, 3rd platoon. Over here, he's not undercover. He gets 4. He's line, so he stays with 4. Flip him. Right, so what we're going to do with him now? Okay. So he's got these guys firing on here, providing the crossfire. And we need to move forward. We need to move forward. Okay. There's no volume of fire on here, so he rallies the XO. Can he rally the XO? Is he allowed to rally the XO? Actually, I don't think he can rally the XO. But we'll move this machine gun forward. And as there is a volume, I am going to double check. Is there a volume of fire on there? They are under white phosphorus, so they can't fire out. They were the ones that are firing into that card, which they won't be able to do in a minute, but they are at the moment. So there is a volume of fire on that card. So I'm going to try and move this machine gun into there as a Infiltrate. And he's a veteran, so he draws 3 cards. One, two, two. He does infiltrate. 3, and I reshuffle those. Right. So he gets in there unexposed. Okay. So there's still a PDF coming from here because we have got a squad there. But it's now small arms, but there's other guys that are providing machine guns that keeps it at that -1. He now, right. Who does he open fire on? He will open fire on somebody, but whom? Okay. So using the chart under engagement priorities chart 6.11, friendly units engage the closest card, as there are 2, technically actually 3 cards that are closest. That one, and that one. It's then card projecting strongest, i.e. lowest, volume of fire onto them, onto that card. So it's this card, because that's the only one that's actually projecting a volume of fire, because the other 2 are under artillery. So that now becomes, let me just move that a little bit, dual and flipped, and he's now projecting automatic weapon fire, same as from over here. So this actually now has a crossfire. Whoops. There we go. On it. Okay. Whoops, that's gone too far. Right. So that's his. So he moved them forward. They infiltrated. That's first order. How many orders does he have? Was it 5? 4. Okay, so he's got 3 remaining. I just double checked. He can rally that guy. Under the actions is attempt to flip a unit with a fire team side to front. Okay, and it says any HQ or staff can do it. And it says any unpinned name fire team, including originated HQ himself. So he can. There's no volume of fire on that card, so he can flip him. Is there a flip? Go back to this. Oh, why can't I flip that? Rally, unflip. There we go. Okay, so that leaves he's got 2 orders remaining. He's got 2 orders remaining. Do we want to carry on the artillery on this? I think so, if we can. Yes, I think so. So he's going to order the mortar team here, the 4.2mm mortar to fire on here, and continue the white phosphorus, I think. Okay, so we know it's 2, so he's drawing 3 cards, which I did incorrectly last time. 3 cards. 1, no. 2, no. Okay, 1 order remaining. I think we'll bank that one. Okay. That's all my activated guys. Right. Initiative segment. Now, I keep getting this wrong, so I'm going to try and get it right this time. My wrongness hasn't been anything significant, but I don't like getting things wrong. We've got to do the platoon HQs before we do the company sergeant, the actual normal sergeant, and the XO. Okay, so we're looking at this mortar section here, and this machine gun platoon, which we're doing nothing with at the present moment, before we do this guy, and this guy. Right. So let's start with that mortar section, who are sitting in cover over here. Now, they were firing on here, providing heavy weapons. They don't need to do that now because we've got white. No, we didn't get the white phosphorus coming in, did we? No. So I'm going to keep them doing that. So I'll get them to consume that ammo. Use ammo. There we go. And the sergeant, the mortar section, that's one order from him. I haven't drawn a card. So let's draw a card. He gets two. He gets two. Whereas the mortar section there, he is a line. So he gets two. He's undercover. Three. And we only need one. So one, and then we'll bring that down here because you can only save a maximum two. So that's fine. They keep firing on that card there, bringing the volume of fire -3. And that is capable of overhead fire. Next up is the machine gun platoon, who's back here. Right. Let's draw. He's on 9 orders as is, but you need to draw a card. He gets one. He is a veteran, gets two. I'm not sure if he can go higher than 10, so we're putting it as 10. And I'm going to get him to bring up some mortar ammunition. Okay, so how much can he actually carry? Okay, so he can carry 2 of those mortar shells. So let's clone that to there. Let's flip that, or use ammo. Use ammo. I put that down as use ammo. Use ammo. So he's going to carry 2 of those into that cover, which will mark him as exposed. Sometimes difficult to find these things. So he's into that cover. So I'm going to mark that to show he's not. And then, so that's one order. And then he's going to give it to the mortar section here. So mark them now as gain ammo and gain ammo. And that's thing deleted. And then he's done 2 orders. He's in that cover with those guys. So I'm going to put the cover like that to show that everyone's in there, apart from the assault team. And that's him done. So use 2 orders. There we go. Right. Now we go to company staff initiative. So I'm going to start with the XO. He gets 1 order. That's all they get when they're activated under initiative. Is there anything I want to do with that? Hmm. I'll tell you what, we will move him back to here. And that's his 1 order. Done. Right. Gunnery Sergeant. So he gets 1. And he is on this card over here. Right. So at the present moment, he's not really doing much there, is he? So can't move diagonal. So we will move him. Is it time? No, because I've got fire coming across here. I really don't want to advance into this card yet. Or do we want to stop that fire from across here? That's been supplied technically by this guy and the squads. Well, he moves out of the cover for 1. I'll mark him as exposed. He will order the assault team forward into there for 2, and they'll become exposed. Now, he could where is he? Gunnery sergeant, there he is. He's got some smoke, which is the ceasefire. If he does that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it. Let's just do it. He drops some red smoke here, the ceasefire. That will get these guys to ceasefire. On this card to ceasefire. And on this card, so I think it's all adjacent cards can see that smoke. Flare with all of them will be able to see all the cards. So they can all see that. So what happens is this is ceased and they will not fire through their own guide. So that's gone. Because even though they're uphill, they haven't got overhead fire. So they cease fire, which means, but that automatic weapons fire stays on there because that's coming from here. However, the crossfire is now gone. Okay, on here, these guys cease fire, but there's none of my guys on there, so they continue fire. So basically they resume. If they've got something to fire at, they'll fire at it. And that heavy weapons still comes in there. Okay, these guys would cease fire and then resume fire because again, there's none of my guys on here. I think that's correct. Again, let me know in the comments if I'm doing something incorrect. And also, if you could like the video, if you're still at this point, please do so because it all helps the channels, and share it with someone, someone who might be interested. Might even be able to get them into the game or put them off it, depending on my dulcet tones, doesn't it? Anyway, so we've got that going, and that was his second order. So that will, because he moved out himself, 1, moved them forward for 2, fired smoke for 3. How many did he have? 5. So we'll keep 2. And that leaves then the first sergeant who gets 1. Where is my first sergeant? Hello, where are you? Sometimes, in fact, there's a gunnery sergeant, first sergeant over here. Right. What were you trying to do with him? He's only got 1 order. I don't really want to engage these because we've got artillery engaging them at the present moment. We've got the XO to come back here to move things forward. Did we get artillery on here? We didn't, did we? Okay, he's in there. So he uses 1 order to tell the mortar team, oi, you sort that out. Fire in there. 4.2 mortar, drawing 2, drawing 3 cards. 1, boom, got him. 3, excellent. So I did say we're going to carry on the white phosphorus, so I'm bringing the incoming in there. Place volume of fire marker, incoming white phosphorus. Okay, excellent. And that would be the 5 missions remaining. I think that's the last one from there, isn't it? The white phosphorus, yeah. Last white phosphorus. Decrease missions, gone. He's only got 1 HE shell left. But that's useful. That's the sergeant done. Okay. completed. Excellent. And then we have the general initiative segment where we have 2 orders. Useful. Okay. What do we want to do with these 2 orders? So we move forward on here. I want him to find some cover. Drawing 2 cards. 1, he found it, good lad. 2. Okay. Place cover, and it's cover +1. And he gets marked exposed on there. Okay, so that's the first initiative. Second initiative. Okay, so I've got options here. Do I move this paralyzed team back? They're pinned, but they can go back to a card which hasn't got a volume of fire. There is an enemy of volume of fire on here, so they could move back. That's option 1. Option 2 is this guy pops smoke because there's a potential contact there. Option 3 is he looks for cover. Option 4 is this guy looks for cover. This is what the game's all about, isn't it? Decisions. I've got 4 decisions to make there, at least. I think I'd like to get the paralyzed team back because I could then rally him. Let's just double check I can move him back. Paralyzed team, move to an adjacent card, but only if the card is a staging area or is friendly occupied and has no volume of fire on it. I think that fits that criteria. So they move back in there. Force preservation. It's a long campaign. Okay, so bring him back. That was my second one. I only had 2. Right, over to the enemy. Yeah, I know, they get part of the game too. HQ event. They do get a HQ event. Okay, let me find my charts and tables. Enemy HQ event. That's enemy packages. Mission attack. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I have to scroll through several pages here. And higher HQ, CCF higher HQ, Mission 1. Let's have a look. Draw a card. Is it 1 to 10? It is 1 to 10. We're looking at option 2, 1 to 2. Rally. All CCF units that are not in good order attempt to rally. Interesting. Okay. All. So we start from. So they're paralyzed. They're not in good order, so they attempt to become litter teams. So they're green, so they're drawing 1 card. I don't think there's any other modifiers to rally. Rally. What we're looking for. The action sheet. Attempt to remove pinned. Attempt to convert from a paralyzed team to a litter team is auto if no volume of fire. Okay. If the recipient's card has no volume of fire on it, draw action card. Has any volume of fire on it, draw rally cards. Reading the English. If the recipient's card has any volume of fire mark on it, draw action cards and check for the word rally. If rally is drawn, then the attempt succeeds. Exchange the paralyzed team for a litter team. If the attempt fails, do nothing. If there's no volume of fire marker on the card, then the action is automatically successful. So they automatically rally from paralyzed to, because they're not good order, because lats aren't good order units. So mark as convert to litter team. Boom. Convert to litter team. Interesting. All right. This guy's in good order, so he doesn't get anything extra. Okay, over to here. So this guy is pinned. So he is under a volume of fire marker, so he will have to draw a card. Looking for the word rally. No. These 2, the heavy machine gun. Again, green, drawing a card. No. And what have we got in this one? So we've got 3 enemy here. So we'll start with the paralyzed that's pinned. No. The first fire team that's pinned. No. And the second fire team that's pinned. No. Okay, so none of those guys rallied. Moving down onto this card here. He's pinned. No. And the other one, no, none of them rallied. Woo. There we go. Enemy activity chart. So this could take a little bit of time because there are quite a few enemies. We have that one, that card there. That's 3 cards. And let's clone that. There's one there and clone that. One there. There's total 5 enemy. Making sure I haven't missed any. No. Okay, so we've got 5 cards with enemy on them, starting at, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I always start top to bottom, left to right. So it's 5. I've got to work out which one to do first. Card 5. So that's the one that's closest to me, which is this dude here, or these dudes. Right, so they're pinned under fire. Let me bring up my chart. Pinned under fire with no leader. Are they undercover? They most definitely are. Pinned undercover. 1, 2, no action. 3 rally. 4 fall back. So first squad there. 1 to 4. He does 4, which is fall back. Right. He falls back. And let's have a look at the enemy fallback priorities. Enemy fallback priorities. Off map, if the edge, we can't move off map. A card out of line of sight of opposing units. None of those are out of sight of opposing units. The card with the highest cover value plus any available cover. Well, that's 0. That technically is +1. So he falls back into the cover and is marked. I assume it says fall back. Would they attempt to infiltrate? They're not stupid. Can pinned units attempt to infiltrate? Pin. Movement. Move within card. Move to adjacent card, but only if that card is a staging area or is friendly occupied and has no volume of fire marker on it. It is movement, and its fallback is the card with the highest cover value. Move into cover that provides the best protection, taking into account cover value, stacking penalties, volume of fire targeting the cover. He goes there. Yes, he goes there because you can see the. Well, you can't see the fire coming in. Well, I suppose you've seen a spotting round. So, yeah, they fall back there because there's currently a -1 there and there's nothing in there. Right. Let's see what happens to this guy. 1 to 4. He does option 3. Option 3. Boom, 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 boom. Pinned under cover 3. He tries to rally. So he's drawing 1 card. He doesn't rally. Right, so that's that one. Done. Okay, so we're now numbered 1 to 4, aren't we? And we're doing card number 2, which is this one here. Okay, first of all, we do the litter team. Interesting. I might have just made a mistake there. Enemy activity check segment. Enemies firing at cards without valid targets shifts this fire. Check every enemy unit on the map for activity. Determine card order randomly. On each card, check units based on their status on the activity check hierarchy tables. But do I do things after they've just tried from the enemy HQ. That suddenly rings a bell. Let me check. Okay, if I was Homer Simpson, I'd be going, oh! Right. Enemy units that are placed on the map or who take actions or attempt to take action as a result of a higher HQ event do not perform any further activity checks in 3.42. All the enemy tried to rally, didn't they? So they don't get to go again. So in actual fact, he don't move back there at all because he attempted to rally. So if you're all screaming, going, no, 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 I got there in the end. See, that's not on the actual sequence of play. All it says is draw an action card if the HQ is present, determine an event on the enemy higher HQ events table. And then it says 3.42. It's only when I've actually gone into the rules, which has obviously more details in the sequence of play, it mentions that bullet point. Enemy units that are placed on map or who take actions or attempt to take actions as a result of a higher HQ event do not perform any further activity checks in 3.42. So what I should have been doing is marking the cards to show that these guys can't do anything extra because they all attempted to rally, which those guys did automatically, which is still an action. They're done, they're done. These guys all tried, and those guys all tried. So, yeah, as I say, I get there in the end. Right, mutual capture and retreat phase. Capture any paralyzed or litter team alone on a card. I think that applies. No. Retreat segments. Retreat any unpinned paralyzed team under a volume of fire. I don't think that applies either. Unpinned paralyzed team under a volume of fire. No, they're now litter teams. That's a casualty, so that doesn't apply. Fire mission update segment. Okay, so that's gone. That now becomes active. So flip that. Boom. That now becomes active. Boom. Okay, and that becomes active. That's deleted. Gone. Right. That's that then. Potential market evaluation segment. Okay. So what state we are in, I think we're still engaged. We haven't got any of our guys on cards with the enemy at the present. So we're still engaged. That hasn't changed. Okay. We have 1B to work out. And I think that's it. We haven't advanced onto any other card. No. So it's 1B. And that would be under enemy contact, potential contact draw. B, engage, is drawing 3 cards. So it's 1, 2, 3. No, so that's gone. Useful. Right. Okay, that's potential contacts. Pin recovery, remove pin markers from any vehicles or infantry units not under a volume of fire. Those are all cleared. These are all under a volume of fire. So no. And right, so that's gone boom. So they're not able to still fire there. That's gone boom. So they're not able to fire there. That's gone boom. So that's now gone. So it's just us firing there. So that's no longer there because there's no fire coming in here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So that means if we got anyone that's pinned down here, we have, they're no longer pinned because there's no volume of fire on them. So unpin, unpin, and unpin. Anything over here? No, no. Okay. Combat effects. Combat effects segment. Right, starting from the top. We'll start with this card here then. The automatic weapon fire is coming from the machine gun here, so that's still an effect, but it's the -5 that takes precedence. So -5, they're in a foxhole. That zero, it's a zero there because it's incoming fire rather than going through the green borders. So it's +1 for the cover, +1 for pins, -5. So it's net -3 on that squad. Net -3. He is hit. He is green. And that is a PC. Okay, so hit results is a PC. So it's fire team, paralyzed, and a casualty. Okay. Whoops. They're under the foxhole. I don't know if it makes any difference to normal cover, but there we go. All right. So that's them done. Moving along onto this card. Okay, so we've got net -4 from the white phosphorus, but we've got +2 for the terrain card, +1 for the foxhole, and +1 for each for the pins. So they're all. Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's 4 steps in that foxhole. Now, I know if you go over 3 steps, but is that because of, would that be, I know it's incoming fire, but is it incoming white phosphorus that also affects it? So I'll just check that. Okay. Right, interesting. There's a little description here. So it says, however, this is under the rules on page 37 under cover. However, putting too many troops under the same cover marker increases their vulnerability to indirect fire and grenades. For every step above 3 that is under a cover marker, each unit attacked by a grenade, incoming, or airstrike volume of fire receives a -1 stacking penalty. Okay, so this is where I had to check, because if you look at that counter, that's the -4. It's got the word incoming with the exclamation mark, whereas the white phosphorus just says fire mission -4. So that doesn't be affected by the amount of units that's stacked in there. Whereas if it had been incoming HE, it would have done. So let's just delete that because that's not there. I just left that there to show you guys. So, right, let's go back over that. So it's +2, +3, well, +3 for foxholes, and +1 for pins, -4, so it's 0. So starting with the heavy machine gun at 0, he remains pinned. Okay. Then fire team, paralyzed at 0. Fire team, hit. Effect. I'm green, he becomes paralyzed. Hit result is P. The other fire team, 0, he just remains pinned. And the paralyzed team, 0, he remains pinned. Okay, so that's that card dealt with. Right, moving along. So the next one is this card here. Right, so we've got -3 incoming. We do have crossfire from the machine guns, so that's -4. And they've got +1 cover, +1 pinned. So net -4, net -2. So starting on, well, exactly the same, net -2. First squad, -2, gets away with it. Second one, he remains pinned. Second one, -2, he is hit. The effect of the hit is just a casualty. Okay, mark as hit result, hit C. I assume there we go. We'll put that over there. And he becomes pinned. And I think that is it, Let's just zoom out a little bit, make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. Okay. So let me clean up and then we'll work out the pyrotech yeah, volumes of fire and such forth. Okay. And ammunition consumption. Right. So on this card here, we still have the automatic and such forth. So this consumes ammunition. Ammo, use ammo. He's on 4. This guy here wasn't able to fire out. These are infantry, so no firing there. Okay, over here then, we were firing from here with a squad that was small arms and nothing consumed there. Over here, yes, the machine guns fired. Ammo, use ammo. Nothing else there. On here, we did fire the mortar and then they picked up some extra ammunition, so we've already done that one. And these weren't firing over here anymore. So, and this was a, yeah, that was firing the mortar onto here. Okay, that's all that updated. That's turn 5 completed. So we're about to go to turn 6. So with half the game, we are still technically 1, because I can't go diagonally, 2, 3, 4 cards away from the objective, or 1, 2, 3 cards away from that objective. So 3 cards away from that one, 4 cards, and we've got 5 turns. I need to pull my finger out of it. Yeah. Tricky, but yeah. Okay, let's go back to the top. I say back to the top because we didn't start at the top. We started already on the map, so we're back here. So yeah, it's that open terrain. Okay, the quality of the enemies is starting to tell against them, especially when they try to rally there. And I've got eventually got the activation mark correct, but yes, it's difficult. I'm going to have to maybe take a bit more risks and start moving my teams up a little bit more and faster because I've only got 5 turns left. 5 cards away. So, okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoy playing it, as you know, but and I hope I can project my enthusiasm for the game and also eventually getting some of the, or hopefully most of the rules correct. Let me know in the comments anything I did incorrectly or didn't correct for my incorrectness. And let me know what you think of the, this is the first time I played this particular mission. And this actual module, it seems to be working. I hope it's enjoyable. Let me know. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and you enjoy what I do, and also do the little bell. It'll let you know when I do any updates. And yeah, if you would like to become a member of the channel, links below the screen, and all you would like to do a super thanks. All helps towards maintaining and upkeeping of the channel. I say maintaining because by maintaining gives me new games, which I can bring to the channel. So yeah, but until next time, play games, have fun. Bye, internet.